I think I will be playing Hollow Knight in the same way that I kind of play Slay the Spire right now, which is that when I'm on the corresponding platform, aka PC basically, and I just want to chill, I'll just play some Hollow Knight. That's about where I'm at. But yeah, I've basically hit that point where Hollow Knight is kind of a comfort game now. It's so good. It's just so good. Thank you, Hollow Knight community, for accepting me and welcoming me and my absolute shit for brains gamer ability. I grew, I overcame, I struggled, and I'm here. And there was much rejoicing. All right. Oh. I kind of like this ending. Like, I kind of like this ending a lot. It hurts, but it's a very good ending. All right, so then, yeah, we get this. All our brothers. Right, so we've seen all these endings here. So then this is a new ending. Defeat Absolute Radiance in the Pantheon of Hallownest. Okay. Do not give a delicate flower to Godseeker. Oh. Oh. Okay. Damn. Whoa! 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 Yeah, Super Hollow Knight. Yeah, we became the Void. Holy shit. Okay, okay. Okay, what's this? Oh, the Void leaks into Godhome. Whoa. Oh, shit. Oh! 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 Whoa, 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 whoa! 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 Oh! Oh, oh, oh! Oh, that's so good! Right, right, and then we got this, yes. Okay. It's a running joke that we need to sacrifice Mossbag in order to get Silksong. Okay, Mossbag, I will protect you. I'll protect you. You are covered in moss, and these gamers don't touch grass, so you should be pretty good. Are y'all ready? It's time! Mossbag complete. Oh, mostly complete lore of Hollow Knight. Yes, good little disclaimer there. What contains of anything between spoilers of Hollow Knight, please bear that in mind before embarking on this journey, or don't. I don't really care. I'm just text on the screen. Okay.
If you were to ask me, what is your favorite video game ever made?
I
would have to say Cory in the House for the Nintendo DS. But Hollow Knight would be a close second. Hollow Knight was released on February 24th, 2017 by Team Cherry, an indie game studio based in the mythical land of Adelaide, South Australia. Over the past 3 years, Hollow Knight has become an indie darling. The game has sold over 3.5 million copies. It was the opening game at ADGQ 2019. There's a Hollow Knight book, a line of plushies, t-shirts, nicotine patches, nuclear warheads, and even vinyl records for all you goddamn hipsters. Christopher Larkin's score and Ari Gibson's artwork lend to this as well, creating an atmosphere that the player won't want to leave. But there's one aspect of Hollow Knight that keeps people like me coming back. The world building.
Yep.
When Super Metroid launched in 1994, it stood out for its amazing sense of immersion. Now in 1994, I was busy not being alive, but I've watched enough YouTube videos you can sense the ancient history of the land when you look at dilapidated structures or giant barred doors.
Fuck
Nothing
that
feels
door!
like it was put into the game randomly. There's a reason for it all. Except those reasons aren't the easiest to uncover. Hollow Knight's narrative is
Choto,
vague.
what the fuck? I never found that shit.
there's a reason for it all. Except
What? I thought I was an explorer.
item descriptions, lore tablets, and even additional
Yes,
content like the
I'm
Coral
hoping
comic
that he gets
and
into
Fan
those.
Gamer's Wanderer's Journal.
Oh,
These past 3 years
cool!
have
I
seen
gotta
an
do
insane
that.
amount of research by the Hollow Knight
I gotta read
community to make sense of Team Cherry's sprawling
How
world.
to eat ass.
We've even made it to the point where people are looking at the in-game signs to try and decipher Hollow Knight's logographic language. In this video, I hope to give you a long and detailed look into the world of Hollow Knight. When I'm not busy making surprisingly accurate Super Smash Bros. Roster speculation videos, or insightful podcasts about beloved subjects like the Donkey Kong Country television series, or whatever this was supposed to be, I'm usually making videos about Hollow Knight. And while I am a seasoned Hollow Knight lore expert, I cannot confirm that every musing or theory presented in this video is completely correct. I highly recommend checking out the lore section of the Hollow Knight wiki if you want a more neutral explanation of Hollow Knight's lore. But if you're too lazy to read, then I suggest you sit back, order some Domino's pizza,
Couldn't be
or
me.
just grab a block of cheese from the fridge, and enjoy the mostly complete lore of Hollow Knight.
I already did all that.
It's a simple fact of life that every
So, you know, given that we have the ability to read, and we did a pretty decent portion of it in the game, I think I have a decent understanding of what the lore of the game is, right? So let's go with it here. Long ago, long ago, the 4 nations lived together in harmony. Then everything changed when the Radiants attacked. Only, you know, the king, you know, master of the shadows and darkness, could, you know, stop them. But when the world needed him most, he vanished. 100 years have passed, and you know, some randos have discovered the new king. You know, a little hollow boy, a little hollow bug named Ghost. And although his jumping skills are great, he has a lot to learn before he's ready to save anyone. But I believe Ghost can save Hollow Nest. Seems right, right? Yeah.
Our story begins with a creature very much worthy of worship. A creature born from the carcass of a worm. The carcass can still be found in the Kingdom's Edge, and it's our only good look at what worms actually looked like. At the time Hollow Knight occurs, it is suggested there are no worms left in the world. They were incredibly long creatures that featured little to no limbs. Another more mysterious property of worms was that they had some kind of prescience, or foresight. Basically, they could see the future to some capacity. It isn't clear how effective this ability was. Considering how the entire race went extinct, this foresight ability must have been pretty shit. Getting back to this particular worm carcass, it is explained that this worm traveled across the distant mountains and wastelands beyond Hollow Nest. Once it arrived in Hollow Nest, the worm died. Except not really. Inside the maw of the carcass sits a pale broken egg, out of which hatched a new form of worm, a being of meager shell. This form of the worm is usually referred to as the Pale King. He's the character basically responsible for everything that happens in Hollow Knight.
Okay. So, gotcha. Okay, so all this time I had been equating the worm and the Pale King together when there is a connection, but it might be more in the idea of like a rebirth rather than a true, you know, they're the same. But I essentially knew this, but that subtle distinction I think is important there. Because while the worms are very clearly dead, and I kind of drew an illusion that the worms are effectively like the dragons if this was some kind of high fantasy lore. We have pantheons of gods and stuff like that with, you know, great powers and stuff like that. But then we also have, you know, ridiculously powerful beings like dragons, and then the worms are kind of the equivalents of those. Or they're more like the big things in Dune. But okay, let's keep going.
One thing we know for sure about Deep Nest is that they really didn't want anything to do with Hollow Nest. The struggles of Deep Nest-Hollow Nest relations would become painfully clear as time goes on, but for right now, it seems like the two remain fairly isolated from one another.
What do you mean that they built a fucking tram from one end to the other? That doesn't seem like they were, you know, all against each other. You mean casually the Pale King's like, all right, I want you to construct that tram straight into there. Then it's like, okay, yep, for now. That's true. It is abandoned. It is kind of destroyed. Yeah, we'll get to that. That's true. That's true.
The Moth race is described as being a rather pacifist group, with few ever choosing to take up a weapon. During the Pale King's reign, the Moth race delved amongst dreams and the dead, displaying the importance of remembering those who have passed, as well as learning how to shape dreams themselves. Similar to the Mothkin, the Moth tribe was born from a higher being, known as the Radiance.
Yeah.
The Radiance is described as being a light in which the Moth tribe basked. So she was basically a giant lamp to them.
Yep.
Another important aspect of the Radiance is her ties to dreams, and a substance known as essence. Essence are the remains of wishes and dreams,
Lamp.
represented in-game by these Dreamcatcher particle effects.
Right.
Essence can take the form of whispering roots, as well as dream ghosts, both of which are memories taking root in the world. The Radiance appears to be a creature made of essence, but she isn't the only higher being to give off essence. Un has green particles, the Pale King has gray particles, and this sexy character named Grim gives off fiery red particles. The use of soul for combat was also shunned. Soul is a sort of life force in Hollow Knight that animates the bodies of living creatures. But some characters are able to control the soul of others to conjure powerful spirits. But aside from a few exceptions, no citizens of Halnest ever used this power. However, the Pale King didn't rule alone. There was another higher being.
We're just gonna breeze past that talk about soul there? We're just gonna breeze past that? Like, we're not gonna talk about the fact that we have a nail that, like, drains soul? Okay, this video is very weirdly formatted. It's not very segmented. It's very like, oh, we're gonna take info from other things and be like, whip that over here. And I'm like, yes, but, like, can we go into... Okay.
In the mix. Okay. What exactly are pale beings? Well, we don't know for sure, but they seem to stand out even amongst higher beings as being even more powerful. I know that's a little confusing, so let's try using an example.
They're white.
I'd say that regular higher beings are like a TP-Link Archer C7 AC1750 wireless dual-band gigabit router, while pale beings are like the Asus RT-AX88U AX6000 dual-band 8X gigabit Wi-Fi router. From this was born probably one of the most important groups in Halonest, and perhaps even all of fiction. An elusive guild of bugs, simply known as the Menderbugs, took to maintaining the various signs scattered throughout Halonest. From the journal entry of one Menderbug, we can catch a glimpse into their ancient and unknowable minds.
Dear, dear diary, isn't life just the most beautiful thing? Fixing signs, mending posts, let them break, I say. I'm a better mender for all that repairing. I sometimes doubt there's a single bug in all of Halonest happier than me.
Another example of the Pale King's expanding infrastructure is the Crystal Peak. The crystals are also said to sing, if you listen very carefully.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Defense appeared to be a group simply known as the Five Great Knights. The members of this esteemed coalition were Ogrim, Hagen, Zamir, Drya, and Isma. For being so important, most of the information about these knights has been lost to time. Ogrim is the knight we know the most about.
Yes,
since he's
my
one
brother!
of the knights still alive during the events of the game. Ogrim expressed a great amount of loyalty towards the king, and he maybe had something going on with Isma, but we really don't know. Hagemel was known for his sense of humor and his soft-spoken voice, but at the same time, he was also dummy thick. Mysterious Samir arrived in Halnest from a serene land, bringing with her a collection of delicate flowers. At some point, she also got into a relationship with a mantis, but not just any mantis, a daughter of one of the mantis lords. So yeah, it seems like these great knights were slaying in more ways than one. The flukes spawned from the
shit-eaters,
a giant monster with cavities in which tinier flukes live. There really isn't too much lore involved with the flukes, but I do need to point out that the fluke marm is canonically a MILF. Like, that's not even debatable. The sky is blue, 2 + 2 = 4, and we all want to fuck this thing. And so this was the kingdom of Halonest at its height. Halonest was up. In his quest to conquer all of Halonest, the Pale King had made an enemy long forgotten, an enemy that was about to be remembered.
Cool.
I mentioned earlier that the Moth tribe entirely forgot about the Radiance.
The timeline begins.
The Pale King.
Sorry,
that isn't quite true.
I was talking a bit there, so I'm gonna go back a little bit. But okay, so we've basically set the foundation now. Damn, 24 minutes just to set the foundation. This is a great video. This is a great video, by the way. So we have now an understanding as to what inhabits where and some of the relationships between everything here. But yeah, we haven't effectively moved the timeline forward at all. The thing I'm most excited about this video doing is basically giving me a sequential understanding of the timeline of events that brought us to the beginning of the game.
The Pale King believed that by harnessing the void inside a pure vessel,
Another
he would
attempt.
be able to stop the infection and keep Halonest lasting eternal.
Here we
but his
go.
method for creating this so-called pure vessel was incredibly cruel. This is where the White Lady and her King Kong-sized libido come into play. These two higher beings engaged in... I think the best explanation comes from a theory I originally heard from a user named Golden Flower Fan. Basically, the vessels were hatched down at the bottom of the abyss, and the first one to make it to the top was chosen by the Pale King. In a memory of this event, we see vessels falling from above back down into the pit of the abyss. Perhaps these vessels weren't being cast down into the abyss, but fell while trying to escape out of it. The lore tablet outside the abyss appears to support this theory. It reads, "Our pure vessel has ascended. Beyond lies only the refuse and regret of its creation. We shall..."
Taking falling damage is like super cringe though. Just saying. Like I couldn't be me. Couldn't be me. This is an interesting theory, but yeah, I'm kind of with you earlier there, Fuzzy. I feel like this is something where it's like it's one where it's a bit vague, so trying to be specific about it might be like it might be a little bit tricky in order to be able to make that work, but we'll see.
So this brave soul was willingly sealed in a dark and dangerous tomb for the rest of his life, just so he could not pull a lever.
Wow.
Or at least he was living with purpose.
Damn.
With the Abyss sealed and the Hollow Knight chosen, the Pale King's plan was beginning to come together. The Hollow Knight was raised in trained to prime form, causing it to grow several times its original size. We don't know exactly why this happened, but I guess the Hollow Knight is just a grower and not a shower. We know that the Hollow Knight was trained to use a nail.
Right.
Lurien was a pretty big fan of the king, so it probably took little convincing for him to lie down for him. Lurien might also be tied to another strange incident that occurred in the City of Tears. Hidden on some of Lurien's lore tablets are images of jars, the same jars that can be found stockpiled in the Tower of Love. This building sits on the outskirts of the city, and is the setting of one of the most bizarre bosses in the game, the Collector.
The Collector, yeah,
the Collector is a void construct that appears to have been made from the same mold used to create the King's molds. But the Collector is unique because, well, Good grief, he's naked! As well as keeping a strange shrine, displaying a grub in the style of the Vitruvian Man. Eventually, despite being locked up in the tower, the Collector is still spotted by the Hunter at some point.
Is that what the Hunter actually looks like?
Recently, or the Hunter has been farting around in Hallownest for a long-ass time.
Oh, that makes sense.
We have no idea what. Hera would eventually agree to become a dreamer, in exchange for a child. The Pale King agreed, and the two engaged in a dalliance, which is a fancy way of saying they totally boned. The White Lady was okay with this arrangement. In fact, she might have been watching from the closet. The motive behind Hera's request is never elaborated on, but it appears as though the King of Deepnest was dead at this point. Hera was a common bug, so perhaps she desired the Pale King's pale seed so that her child could be of high birth. The bargain between Hera and the Pale King resulted in the birth of Hornet. She became known as the gendered child, because unlike the Pale King's other children, Hornet was not hollowed out by the Abyss. Hera and Hornet spent little time together, as Hera had to make good on her end of the bargain. Hidden away in the Weaver's Den is an incomplete seal of binding, woven from silk. This design prominently features the Hollow Knight's head, and can be found in the White Palace, as well as blocking the exit during the Hollow Knight fight. Silk spools created by the Weavers can be found in the Stag Station in Deepnest, as well as the Stag Station next to the White Palace. These spools can also be found in the Pale King's workshop. We know that the Weavers were closely tied to Hera and Hornet, so their actions might have been a part of the deal between the Pale King and Hera. Once the Hollow Knight was ready, the Hollow Knight had been tarnished by an idea instilled. While the game never explicitly tells us what that idea was, it does hint strongly at what it might be. Hidden away in the White Palace is a memory showing the Hollow Knight and the Pale King.
They had a relationship.
The Hollow Knight might have developed
cared
a
for each
parental bond
other.
to the Pale King. And who could blame it? The Pale King is a pretty great dad after all. You know, if you ignore the infanticide and everything. The Pale King resorted to his final plan. He fucked off, hiding himself, his White Palace, and his Pale Court in the Dream World.
Makes sense.
At this point, all of the furniture in the palace was covered under white sheets, similar to how people in the real world cover their furniture while away on long trips. The palace was also completely covered with thorns and buzzsaws, similar to how people in the real world cover their houses with thorns and buzzsaws. The Pale King would eventually pass away while sitting on his throne in the White Palace. There's no confirmation on what killed him, but there are a few things to consider. The throne room is incredibly dark compared to the rest of the palace, and the particle effects and ambient track in this room are identical to that of the Abyss.
Ah,
all of the
nice.
surrounding the Pale King are dead. The ancient basin itself also has become stained with the presence of void, as it can be seen as high as the rundown elevator shaft leading back to the city. Due to the gates being sealed, some bugs resorted to cannibalism in order to avoid starvation. And there's also that metric fuck ton of corpses lining the walls of the Soul Sanctum. When all was said and done, the only citizen left standing is Eternal Emilita, who just laughs her ass off about it like she's a fucking Dark Souls character.
True! Yeah!
Now, maggots were generally looked down upon and forced to do menial labor. They were incredibly weak, and basically deserved all the discrimination they got.
Fallen
But
Knight.
this one maggot decided to turn the tide, so he stole Hagemol's shell so that he could defend his downtrodden brothers. His actions weren't motivated by the infection, but instead was the result of how hierarchical caste systems will always lead to revolution from the working class, and that true freedom can only be achieved blah blah blah, capitalism is bad, subscribe to Patreon. Odin moved to the Royal Waterways, and started living in shit, changing his name to Dung Defender.
That turn was
now,
so good.
Living in shit as much as the next guy, but you'd have to really love shit to put up with living with the flukes. The Dung Defender kept an unwavering sense of duty and loyalty to the king.
I will not tolerate this slander of Dung Brother. Like, there is no bug more like like more like worthy of our like brotherly devotion. Holy shit.
Sense of duty and loyalty to the king, and love for his fellow knights. So much so
Yeah.
that he made shit statues of them.
Yeah!
How nice.
Hello again, Diary. Not long now until the next Minder Bash. For us stealthy types, we're a riotous bunch when we get together. And Winterberry kept flashing me that smile. It might be time to muster my courage and act on it. I love my home and my life, but sharing it with another? Why, that'd be the berry on top.
Green Path also implemented some changes. Another tribe to be screwed over by the Radiants is the Hive, which fell to the infection after the death of their leader, Hive Queen Vespa. But it appears as though this had little effect.
I mean, this is clear why the hive fell apart. They couldn't tell the difference between their honey and the infection pustules. Easy GG, game over. Hive gets rinsed. They're, you know, sorry. It's just the way it is. Yep. It's what happens when you put orange on orange or orange on yellow. You know, it's unfortunate, but it's true.
In the Kingdom's Edge, the land became covered in ash, molting off of the worm's decomposing corpse. The Colosseum of
that's
continued
cool.
to thrive. The Pale King was rebelling against nature, trying to keep his work standing indefinitely. The stasis over Hallownest held for an age. How long is that exactly? Well, we have no idea.
No
As I'm sure you've
clue,
noticed,
yeah.
there really isn't a timeline for anything that happens in this game. We
Ah!
also have no idea how long any of
Disappointed! I was too much to hope for. I was just at least hoping for at least this came before this, and this came before this, and this came before this. But, you know, this is a pretty great video. This is a pretty great video, all things considered.
these bugs can actually live. Elderbug wasn't around to see the Stagways open, but we know several other characters were, implying that Elderbug is probably one of the youngest characters in the whole game.
Cool,
But this
yeah,
stasis
yeah.
over Hallownest
Yeah.
wasn't going to last. Now this old home might actually be Farloom. The
Whoa,
kingdom which-
whoa. This is Silksong? This is Silksong? Guys, no wonder you need to sacrifice Mossbag. Mossbag already has Silksong. Mossbag's had Silksong for years now. I get it now. Let's go get him. Let's go get its ass. Yep. Actual Trader Lord. Yep. All right. Brandish your nails and grab your shells. Let's go. So guys, what you're telling me is that after the trailer to Silksong came out, there was a lore video compiling all the lore of Hollow Knight. And since then, there has been no updates on Silksong as a game. I see y'all chat like, not true. There's been one more trailer. There was an article. There was a post that they made. There was a guy in the Discord group that posted a thing. It's not. It hasn't been that long. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm an asshole. I'm sorry. That's just. I'm sorry. I know I'm new to the whole thing. It's like me catching up to One Piece. You know, it's like back then it was like, oh man, I have to wait all this time for another chapter or another volume, and everyone's like, shut the fuck up, Caleb and Jacob. You guys ain't no shit. We've been doing this for decades. Who are you? I did my waiting 12 years in Azkaban.
Regardless, once a knight shows up and yeets itself off this glyph, the actual game of Hollow Knight finally begins.
Whoa. You know what's crazy about that? I never even thought about this. But there was something really impactful about the mythic quality of the lore for Dark Souls being about light versus darkness, right? And Hollow Knight did the exact same thing in a completely different way, and yet still struck at that intrinsic mythic quality of the idea that these bugs are attracted to the light, the flame. They're going after that, but that ultimately is their own destruction. And it's just there. They never even like bang you over the head with it. It's just in plain sight, and it's even in the nature of the beings themselves that are drawn from our real world understanding of bugs into this fantastical world that, you know, could be happening 6 feet below the streets of Detroit, Michigan, for all we know. But like that's the thing, is that like that's it. It's so perfect. Like it literally fits on the napkin. It's such a simple thing, and yet it works so well. So
For example, let's look at the brooding Moloch. So why is the brooding Moloch brooding?
Sure.
Because all its friends are dead. And there you go. That's the lore for the
That's the
brooding
lore,
Moloch.
okay.
Also, it's the only character in the game with a visible asshole.
Ah!
Now, do
What?
you really need me to explain that to you? In this ending, the knight usurps the Hollow Knight, prolonging the stasis over Hallownest. New chains and bindings appear out of, fuck if I know, and contain the knight, and a new seal is placed over the entrance to the Black Egg. Now there is one giant question looming over this ending. Can the knight actually contain the infection indefinitely, or will the Radiant still manage to break free one day? Before we answer this question, let's look at some of the other events that can transpire while playing the game. If the player chooses to go to Kingdom's Edge, Hornet will challenge the knight one last time, as a final test of strength. After her defeat, Hornet allows the knight to access the cast-off shell, where the Pale King was originally hatched. By interacting with his egg, the knight's shell is marked with the King's brand, technically making the knight the new ruler of Hallownest. With the King's brand, the knight can now open the entrance to the Abyss and discover the place of its birth. When leaving the Abyss, the knight can encounter Hornet again, where for the first time, Hornet suggests that there are actually two outcomes the knight can enact. She tells the knight that it can either prolong Hallownest's stasis, or face the heart of the kingdom's infection. With it,
Wait. Actually, then it could have been a solution potentially, because even though we're not the king, still taking on that mark might have given us access to some part of the void in some way. Like there's a possibility that we would have done better because we're not. No, there's no way. Because by the same logic that the pure vessel wasn't enough, we had all these interactions and stuff that changed, not really changed who we are. We're kind of the silent protag, but we went through a little bit of a journey to get there. So that might have been the source as to why we would have cracked, but maybe we would have done better. Yeah, your travels throughout the kingdom made you not hollow. Right, exactly. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm trying to say.
So is the White Lady wrong? Or maybe even lying? Her eyes have been clouded by time, and she can be tricked into thinking that Ogrim is in the room when the knight is wearing the Defender's Crest. She also thinks that Drya is still alive, which, when equipped, the King Soul provides a never-ending supply of soul, making it almost useful if it weren't for the insanely high cost of the charm.
What the hell?
And the painfully slow rate at which it increases, and the fact that the charm will get replaced in about 5 minutes after you get it. The King Soul charm itself symbolizes the union between two higher beings. Hornet awakens to find the knight's broken shell lying on the floor. We get one final shot of the shades in the Abyss going to rest, and the game is over. This ending is called the Dream No More ending. The Radiance is gone, and Hallownest is finally free from her infection.
So
now
good.
I think it's fair to ask a few questions about how the Dream No More ending comes about. When the Hollow Knight was initially chosen to become the pure vessel, the Abyss was sealed up, and the rest of the vessels were left to rot away. But somehow, vessels ended up outside of the Abyss, and then one of those vessels was used to replace the Hollow Knight. Exactly how much of this operation was planned, if at all? A stronger, more enhanced version of the game's final boss. Finally, the stage is set. After roughly 40 minutes of intense agony and tedious boss battles, the knight has finally reached the ultimate enemy, responsible for the destruction of Hallownest. Truly, this will be a battle for the ages. But first, let's check in on our old pal Menderbug.
Yes, let's do
As
it.
It turns out he's still alive when the knight arrives in Hallownest, and he's still fulfilling his duty after all this time. Let's take one last look at his diary.
My lovely diary. Someone's gone and broke my favorite
Vati!
song, right there at the top of the crossroads.
Vati!
It's happening too. But you know, I just can't get mad about it. I should be thanking them, really. More chances to fix that beautiful, complex sign. And I've stocked up on spare parts, so I've no fear it'll ever stay broken for long.
Unfortunately, the only way to ever read the Menderbug's diary is to kill him in cold blood. I'm not sure why Team Cherry thought this was necessary, but the general consensus on Reddit is that they are bloodthirsty warmongers, so it checks out. But at least Menderbug's last moments will be spent fixing one of his favorite signs in the Forgotten Crossroads. It's comforting to think that his final seconds of consciousness were spent in total bliss, before we sent him hurtling into the infinite chasm that is Oblivion. So from this cutscene, we can see that the Radiance's death in Godhome actually did kill her for real, meaning that the infection over Hallownest is now gone. This means the seals inside of the Black Egg probably wore off, allowing the Hollow Knight to escape its prison. In other words, the Embrace of the Void ending is a goddamn cliffhanger, and we have no idea how Team Cherry plans to follow this up. The Hollow Knight is running loose. Where did things like the Void even come from to begin with? How much bigger is the world beyond Hallownest? Is Bardoon into butt stuff? But of course, that's the appeal of a game like Hollow Knight. Having all of the answers to every question would just ruin the mystery of the world. Plus, if we didn't have questions like this to waste our time on, then what else would we be doing with our lives?
I want
Go
some!
outside?
No!
And so this video comes to an end. Now I know the average attention span of a YouTube viewer is 9 minutes, so let me leave you with a few takeaways.
But what about a YouTuber?
1. Hollow Knight is a game about bugs. I know
couldn't go through the video without at least a little bit of an homage to the goat. And I want answers. I want answers. If you know, you know.
I know this may come as a shock, but it's true. Watch the video again, and this time, pay attention. You'll notice right away, I promise. 2. Murdering your own babies might not be such a good idea after all. I mean, this is obviously just my interpretation. 3. Menderbug is fucking dead. 4. Nothing is certain. This video probably has a few flaws in it. Trying to construct a cohesive narrative with the information found in Hollow Knight isn't exactly straightforward. I'm sure my views will change in the future, and I encourage you to explore the lore yourself. 5. And this last point is fairly obvious, but I should mention it anyway.
Okay.
Cory in the House is the best
No!
anime.
Fuck you! Fuck you! No! That's an amazing video, but fuck you! You can really tell what era of YouTube this was made in by Cory in the House jokes being made. Holy shit. Wow. Holy shit. Yeah. I don't know if any of the other videos are gonna, like, even gonna come close to this level of just chef's kiss pure quality of just dissection of the game's world in general.
Did you know the caverns continue even below the capital? Few have ventured that deep, so the details are scant. Those who made it back told of impossibly old structures, and roads formed as though the rock itself possessed a will.
Oh, cool!
In other words, the architecture of the ancient basin was supposedly formed through the will of nearby rocks.
Alright, yeah.
So why the fuck would rocks want to build roads or seek out owners? My pet rock doesn't do jack shit. Maybe he's depressed. Well, there is one explanation, but I don't really want to say it because it devolves into saying that a whole bunch of different things are made out of void. And this community is already too quick to play the V card, so I'm a bit worried about this. We already know that void tendrils are these weird shadow creatures that thrash out of the night.
They're just a bunch of
That is
angry
until it receives
lobsters.
the void heart. The journal entry for the void tendrils is obtained in this strange room found on the east side of the abyss, behind a shade gate. The room contains some kind of desk, along with a strange formation in the wall. Inspecting the formation gives you the journal entry, along with the following prompt: an imprint of abyss given form. We've seen this phrase given form before in the Hall of Gods.
So cool.
The phrase void given form is used to describe the statue of the night as it appears in the Dream No More ending. So is void equivalent to an imprint of abyss, making the void tendrils similar to the night? Well, I'm not sure what else an imprint of abyss would even look like. Like, what is this shit? I've literally stared at this thing for the last 18 months of my life, and the only—
Before he gives his idea here, I actually think that there's something pretty cool you can grab from this. So, you know how the Pale King has his crown, right? It's very unique to the Pale King in some ways. Except it's not. Every being that has some measure of mask or like face of some kind actually has tendrils or like antlers or horns or stuff coming up out of its head in some way. There's no reference to any kind of biology that has to do with this in any way whatsoever, right? But at some point, civilizations use iconography to draw a connection to all these things here, right? So the Pale King is a pale being, right? But the head or crown or mask of the Pale King, or whatever you want to call him, there was a point where he didn't have that. That's not his biology. That's just not. But if there was an ancient civilization before this, and you wanted to appear as if you are some being that shows that you are one of them but above them, maybe it's just a little bit of a drawing inspiration from something like this. And there you go. It's nice and simple. The worm's mouth. Yeah, that's true. The worms have the two pincers by the mouth. Yeah. All right, let's see what he comes up with here.
Thing for the last 18 months of my life, and the only thing I can see is Florida, the state in which Rick... Over the course of this channel, we've talked about horror lore, vor lore, and now we're going to talk about floor lore. So remember how Lem said that the soul totems were another indication of the Void Kingdom's existence? Well, the floor found in this portion of the Abyss can be found underneath several of the soul totems in the game. Since we know that the totems were created by the Void Kingdom, it seems pretty likely to me that this room was used by this ancient civilization.
Oh,
This
we're
room
going
might have been
deep.
used as some sort of observation deck, or... But then again, does this mean these chains are void? Or these drapes? Why are Hornet and the Knight's shell the only things that are left? Where's the Hollow Knight's shell? Where are their nails? If the void sucked it all up, why is Hornet okay? There'd better be an explanation for this, Team Cherry. I know where you live. Regardless of...
It looked cool, and they did it that way because it looked cool. I think we're approaching that Kingdom Hearts level of territory where some things weren't written with answers in mind. Darkness is darkness, and light is darkness.
That being the entrance to the room where the ancient nailsmith can be found. We know this corpse was called the ancient nailsmith from the text file containing its Dreamnail dialogue. Of course, the ancient nailsmith isn't the only giant corpse we find in Hollow Knight. We also have the Shade Beast in the Abyss, as well as the Green Beast in the Queen's Garden, whose names come from their sprite art files. There's the
that's
worm
so
corpses
cool.
in the Kingdom's Edge, and finally we have the Temple of the Black Egg, which according to the upcoming Hollow Knight art book, was built from the carapace of a colossal ancient bug.
Yep.
The Shade Beast is obviously tied to the Void, possibly as some kind of Void worshipper, but it seems possible that these other giant beings, minus the Pale King's worm form, were a part of the Void Kingdom.
Right.
Giant beasts,
They're just older
similar to the
bugs,
design of
yeah.
the soul totems, might have also existed around that time. Looking at the Abyss, the entrance is remarkably similar in structure to that of a well. It's a long vertical hole that stores liquid at the bottom. This begs about 100 questions.
Whoa, that actually is really trippy. Yeah, the Abyss looks constructed. Oh my god. Okay, now I'm ready to go down the rabbit hole. No, really, look at the background of the Abyss. It's uniformed. It's super constructed.
Was the Abyss built as a way to store Void? Or did the Void Kingdom just find the Abyss and set up home nearby? Someone had to create this architecture.
Yep.
If Void was being drained into the Abyss, where was it coming from? Or is there just an infinite amount of Void pouring out of the Shade Beast's bowl somehow? There is also the question of whether or not the Snail Shamans are connected to this Void Kingdom. Unfortunately, that is really difficult to answer. The Snail Shamans are definitely some kind of Void creation. The Snail Shaman calls the Knight a little shadow, implying that he knows what the Knight is, and the Shamans in the Soul Sanctum and the Crystal Mound literally explode into void balls that get absorbed by the Knight. However, the Snail Shaman is surprised by the Abyss Shriek, implying that the Shamans have never been to the place of its origin. I don't think the Snail Shaman would be wrong in this instance. I think a character...
Okay, that's a real... Okay, this is the kind of stuff that is super unnecessary but very cool. Because this is a Metroidvania, the idea that you could intentionally skip this guy here, go down, get the Abyss Shriek, come back up here just to see how he would react to it. Yeah, it's all the little details and shit. That's just... Oh.
These mysterious beings mentioned by both Confessor Gigi and Steel Soul Jin. They appear to be tied to the Void in some way, indicating...
Whoa. Steel Soul Jin? How are there still so many NPCs I haven't found yet? What? Oh, Steel Soul okay, it's in the name too. Okay, I gotcha.
Planted servants to still be fell into obscurity due to one moth.
I have to see this again. This is good. Okay, the entire kingdom of Shadow members, they were able to engineer advanced forms of architecture, information storage, as well as conjure beings out of darkness, and immediately the very soul that animates our bodies. Okay. What do we got here? Extended Elegy for Hallownest, To Be Continued, Record Bella, Land of Storms, Kingdom's Edge Tent, Mace Bug, Warrior of Zelda. Fuck me, I don't know what any of this shit is. Well, all right. Let's dive in, shall we?
The surface level is all the normie stuff. If you have put any time into researching Hollow Knight, you have probably heard of most of these entries. The Land of Storms is a hidden area in Godhome that can only be accessed by clearing each Pantheon challenge with each binding.
Okay.
It shows off a strange land the Godseekers once inhabited before making their pilgrimage to Hallownest.
That's so
it's
cool!
It's a super secret area that the vast majority of Hollow Knight players won't even encounter. The Hunter symbol does appear for enemies like the Radiant.
Oh shit, mossbag in chat! Shout out to the GOAT! Hey, I'm glad you were enjoying my videos. Thank you so much for sending some folks over to my charity stream. I really appreciate it. Absolutely! Absolutely! Thank you for being chill with us lazy strummers reacting to your actually just incredible content. Blessed stream. Hey. This is a very awesome, like, incredible community. And as you are a specific beacon within this community, mossbag, shout out to you for doing your part in that.
Such as...
Thunder!
The Abyss doesn't really have music like the other areas in Hallownest. Instead, we just get a lot of low droning sound, which conveys the haunting emptiness of the area. However, if you speed up the music, you can actually hear the vessel theme that plays at the start of the game and in the Dream No More ending.
Oh! Nice! That's fun!
There's a hidden area in the Hall of Gods where you can find a breakable wall. Destroying this wall allows Zote the Mighty to break into the Hall of Gods. There is even unused dialogue that calls Zote an intruder amongst the gods of Hallownest.
So Zote broke his own precept and was like, yeah, the only time that dreams are ones that you should actually do is when the gods are trying to have an exclusive little fight club inside. And then we say, fuck that, then I will dream just to go in there and fuck up their shit. Absolutely. Yes, I am Zote, motherfucker. You will not have your little god fight without me. Yes, because I am the great warrior, and I will make you taste Life Ender.
Back in 2017, a collector's edition of Hollow Knight for the PC was released by NE Bothell. This edition had a special grub plush that came along with the game. Included in some of these releases was a document called Grub Care Instructions. The document goes into detail about the habits of grubs, what they like to do, how they show gratitude, and what they do when they are sad. It's unclear who wrote this document or if Team Cherry ever approved it as accurate canonically, but there's one line in particular that raises a few eyebrows. Grubs grow quickly and are ferocious eaters. They will happily eat anything, but it is considered taboo to feed them flesh or eggs. This may give them unseemly appetites.
So that's how the mimics came about.
Like fucking gremlins. And people seriously wonder why I hate these little bastards so much.
What if grub mimics aren't mimics, but they've just been fed too much flesh and they have no control over their appetites?
These two images were found hosted on the back end of Team Cherry's website, but they were never actually publicly revealed. So in reality, Team Cherry never even meant for us to see this creature.
Ooh.
Why were they hiding it from us? What did it do?
Spoopy!
In October of 2015...
The bridge ending! Lighthouse Abyss Monster! The hidden ending! I told you it was true! Chat, you didn't believe me! It's there! The bridge! The lighthouse monster! The legends were real! It's real!
Apparently, this picture was taken by the local newspaper after Hollow Knight was nominated for a BAFTA award, and the interviewer decided that they should take a picture underground, since Hollow Knight is a game about underground bugs. So he took them to the Treasury Tunnels in Adelaide, Australia, and I'm glad he did because this pic goes so hard. I'm happy I was finally able to talk about this obscure detail, although I'm not really sure why Steve Poyo69 thought it was worth putting on this iceberg. It's barely even related to Hollow Knight, and I'm probably the only person who actually cares.
I'm gonna look this shit up just because I'm now curious what the age of these tunnels is. Were constructed in 1850. Let's go!
If you finish the Pantheon of Hallownest without getting hit, the center of the middle gem will shine brightly by itself. Originally, Team Cherry played this middle part to actually turn black like Void, but they decided that this was going too far. As it stands now, if you do all bindings, it basically overrides if you did it hitless.
Whose footage is this? Whose footage is this? No shot. All bindings at once and hitless? What no Silksong does to a motherfucker.
But what is this Lion Village exactly? One thing we know for sure is that the Lion Village was designed by a top Kickstarter backer. I'm guessing this might be a village of ant lions, but
Rip.
I'm not quite sure.
Rip.
I reached out to Team Cherry about this on Twitter a few years back, and they did let me know that the Lion Village is full of lions. The Coliseum trophy is a cut
I love
object
this
that would
dev
have appeared
team.
in the
Very cool. Wait, what? Oh my god. He's just like, end me! Take me now! Let's do some mossbag. I miss mossbag. It was truly a video of all time. Yes, indeed.
There's a very interesting drawing called the Vitruvian Grub. This is one of the biggest mysteries in Hallownest. So what does it mean? Honestly, I don't have a goddamn clue. But hey, that doesn't mean I can't make a wildly speculative video about it.
Hell yeah!
This is the Vitruvian Grub. Possible ties to ISIS? If you listen to the collector before reaching the room where you fight him, you hear some strange things.
Oh, there's a grub in there with them.
Now that's just creepy. Seriously, listen to it with horror music playing. Not
This
only
is an
that,
amazing
but you
video.
can hear the grub gagging at one point.
Wait, what?
Why is it that these cute little creatures are involved in one of the most fucked up plots of the game?
What?
It's so weird. Maybe the Vitruvian grub is just a drawing the collector made to represent its obsession over the form of the grub body. But that's kind of a boring answer. I think it's time we start speculating
Yeah,
wildly.
what?
As I'm sure you've noticed, there are 46 circles drawn in this picture, and that's the
As you
exact
know.
number of grubs that can be freed in the game. What if this drawing is some sort of representation of the location of the grubs?
Aww. Oh, that's sweet. Oh. The world suddenly seems a little less faded. Oh. That's so precious. Oh my god.
So the lore tablets in the archive are one of the biggest mysteries in all of Hollow Knight.
Yes.
On the surface, they don't make a lick of goddamn sense. But if we can channel our inner high school English class student, we can do a little close reading to try and figure out what it all means. Now, if you've ever read the popular nonfiction work of George Orwell entitled 1984, then the
Okay.
syntax of these tablets will probably be familiar to you.
Oh.
The tablets don't form complete sentences. Instead, we have to look at the key words and the order in which they appear to try and decipher their meaning. There are also just seemingly random words and letters that I think we should just completely ignore, like Abba, M, Ch, O, and Theer.
Sure.
But maybe, if we rearrange these letters, it will form an anagram that will help us uncover more of Hollow Knight's lore. Holy shit.
What?
In-kind likely means the inclusion of different kinds, or in other words, variety, since all the bugs can think
Sure.
for themselves. Then there's the word Enfield. My best guess for this word is that it's referencing a suburb in Adelaide, South Australia, the city that Team Cherry is based in.
Oh,
So is
that
Team
actually
Cherry
fits.
trying to tell us that Modamon is actually aware of the fact that she's in a video game? I mean, that seems like a cool hip thing for indie devs to do nowadays. Now, is it really that important of a distinction? Well, yeah. Everything is important in this game. Even this bitch. The third line explains that the shells and
Yes! Yes! In fact, she was so important that I was like, we need to come up with a fucking stupid name for this useless bug. And thus, she is Throat Goat. The one thing I'm adding to the Hollow Knight community. Spread it far and wide. Spread it far and wide, chat.
the only thing mentioned in these tablets that sort of affects our view of the lore is the inclusion of the word weave. Overall, the most important thing about these tablets is what
Silksong?
implications they have
Weave?
to Hollow Nest. Now, if you haven't seen my first
Silksong?
Hollow Knight lore video,
Oh, hell yeah, cloth! Oh, let's go! What? What? Oh no! Oh, hell yeah! Wait, is cloth okay? No! No, wait! Wait. Tool-assisted speedrun. Oh, I see. Showing what a bot can do. I gotcha. A human makes the inputs. Okay. NMG and theoretically fastest. Okay, 152. All right, hit me with it. Oh. My brain hurts. I like that he had to slow down a little bit there. Hey, they did what I did! Nice! Oh, yeah, let me look at the date again, yeah. 4 years ago? Whoa. All right. Lethal acrobatic action. Oh, yes. I'm already loving the snappy, precise combat. Oh my god, what the fuck? What? Ah. Oh, our new quick travel stag. Hello. It's Pooplem. Ah. Oh! Oh, no. I'm pausing. Cooking! 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 Ah! Equest system, yeah! Ah! Nice. Oh. Whoa. That was amazing. I love this one. What is this one? Okay. I love this one. I love this one so much. Just just ding ding ding. I love this one. He's got some looking like mustache looking kind of bug here on like a weird motorcycle that's also a bug or something going like Zanzibar or something. Yeah. Can we see the daily Hollow Knight Silksong news? I'd love for you to see that channel. Wait, is that just a channel that just uploads it has been, 1,174 days without Silksong. 760 days. It's basically that. Yeah. It's the same thumbnail. This channel's goated. It's just the exact same thumbnail, except for maybe a image slapped over the top right, and then the words of no in red, yes in green, or some kind of ambiguous word or words in yellow. I had a core memory from my childhood. You know the Disney Robin Hood? I need this for a meme right now. You know the Disney Robin Hood animated, like with the fox and everything movie? You know when the kid who's hanging out with Friar Tuck in the church just is ringing the bell all dejectedly when it's raining, and he just goes, Friar Tuck, I don't think anyone is coming. And I'm like, Friar Tuck, I don't think Silksong is coming. It's just so perfect. Someone can take that clip of the video and just have it go Silksong, like that automated like AI voice, and it's just be like, Friar Tuck, I don't think Silksong is coming. You actually can notice the difference of their hype on their voices on day one and now. Oh, in like a decline way. I'm evil. Oh God, I kind of want to watch it now. I kind of really want to watch it.
Today is January 16th, 2021. This is Aura, your host for today, bringing you your daily Silksong news. There have been no news to report for Silksong today. This has been your daily news for Silksong for today, January 16th, 2021.
Hello again, cat girls, cat boys, and non-binaries. Today is February 15th, 2023, and I'm Mola, your host for today, bringing you your daily Silksong news.
It's February 14th, 2023.
Oh my God, he sounds
dead.
This
is Aura, your host for today, bringing you your daily Silksong news. There has been no news to report for Silksong today, but it has been 4 years since the reveal of Silksong in its first trailer. 4 years! Happy 4th anniversary, Silksong reveal trailer. Now, I'm sure you're all feeling sad and disappointed that there is no Silksong news on such a monumental day. However, do not worry, we have a proposition for you.
Oh,
do you? In the Silksong News Discord server, a bunch of members came up with the idea of sacrificing people in order to make Silksong come sooner. A few days ago, we've finally implemented a system in which people can volunteer to get sacrificed for Silksong, and then once a day, one random member will get sacrificed. This has been your daily news for Silksong for today, February 14th, 2023.
2023. Wait, chat, are you sure it was no cost too great? Or was it no pain too great? Or was it no wait too great? That kind of fits more. It rhymes after all. Or maybe no date too late. There's a couple of these that work. You know, I can keep spitting them out, you know, as we go. Like, yeah, no cheese to grate. No game to rate. One Piece is going to end before Silksong releases. All right. Good night, everybody. I'm gonna go sleep now. Take care. All right.